The third and final mob for the Minecraft Live mob vote has been announced, the Tuff Golem. So in this video, I'll tell you everything we know about this mob so far, and if the Tuff Golem is a good mob to vote into the game. So what do we know about the Tuff Golem? Well, according to the video, the Tuff Golem will basically be a display sort of mob, almost similar to the item frame, where basically you'll build or place down this certain thing, it will display a certain item, and then it'll basically stay there and sort of walk around to present your piece in a mobile fashion. However, other than that, it seems like the mob doesn't have much of a use. Now, in terms of what they said on the mob vote video, this mob will be completely passive, it will not hurt you or attack you in any way, unlike the snow golem that can fire snowballs at zombies, or the iron golem that will fight whatever attacks it or a villager. The Tuff Golem is very passive. Now, how do you actually build the Tuff Golem? Although we weren't given the specific info, we have a very good idea as to how. This is the construction of the snow golem. We have here the carved pumpkin and 2 snow blocks, and also the iron sort of T shape here with the pumpkin on top for the iron golem. So of course we would assume that the Tuff Golem would either be made like this or like this, as of course it would be similar to the snow golem or the iron golem. Now it could be like this, but we actually know that it's not, because something that the Minecraft Live article tells us is that what the Tuff Golem looks like depends on if you include a wool block in its construction. So for instance, a Tuff Golem like this would give you a standard non-decorated golem. However, a Tuff Golem that looks like this would be a decorated golem because that wool block would influence its color. So that's why we know it's not going to be built like this, because of course it'll have Tuff in it. Now because Tuff is such an easy to get block, for instance the entire Deep Dark and basically everything that's super low down in Minecraft is completely riddled with it, I feel like it's good that this mob doesn't have any too overpowered abilities. But its abilities aren't that unique either. Taking a second look at the Tuff Golem, you can see that they're on display in this player's house. And although I'm sure the Tuff Golem wearing hats is just for the video, it would be interesting to know if these hats are also being added with the Tuff Golem, or if they're just an additional thing there to make the video more funny. Now of course it's fairly hard to simulate what the Tuff Golem would be like without them actually being in the game, but what it also says is that if there is an item floating on the ground and the Tuff Golem currently has no items in its hand, the Tuff Golem will walk over to it, pick up that item, and then it will display it, so it almost has functionality similar to the Allay. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not sure whether or not the Tuff Golem would win, is just because its abilities are so similar to the Allay mob. It might be a bit redundant to have it in the game, but on the other hand, golems are a really unique part of Minecraft, and a new one hasn't been added to the game for literally over 10 years, so it's definitely time for one, and of course with so many players liking the copper golem, I would definitely not be surprised if it won the mob vote. But let's take a better look at the Tuff Golem so we can really see what this mob is like. Well, it more or less appears as a small iron golem, with a design that is somewhat similar to the copper golem. However, looking at them both side by side there, you can see it's definitely not the same. And a good friend of mine, the link to his art station is in the description by the way, has drawn up a concept art as well as a 3D animated model of the Tuff Golem, and you can see they're a really good representation of what the Tuff Golem will look like and potentially what it could even do. Now for instance, we can see right here it has these small arms with a large head and a body almost the same size as its head, and of course it's wearing sort of a robe around its waist, which I think is kind of interesting, as of course having a mob with the fashion sense is somewhat of a unique concept, but not as unique as you'd think, as of course llamas can wear carpets of all 16 types, each one of those featuring a different design, for instance the purple one having an Enderman face. So if the Tuff Golem is added, I think it'll be super interesting to see what the unique designs are for all the different wool colors, like let's say green or lime green or orange or yellow. There's just so many opportunities here for decoration here, but that is really what this mob would be, is just decorative, and you can even see here through the concept arts and the 3D animations, there's not going to be a lot of practical use here. But something I would say is really important to consider, now that we know what all the 3 mob votes are, is the fact that all 3 of these mobs seem to fit in very well to an archaeology themed update, although I'm not sure if that's what the update is. The Tuff Golem of course was hinted at in the video of being a great way of making museums. There's not a lot you can even have in museums in Minecraft right now, but as well as that of course it could be a bit of a domestic mob. Also the Rascal, although not specifically archaeology themed, is something that's sort of ancient and hiding away in the old abandoned mineshaft structure. And finally, the Sniffer, of course, is a very prehistoric looking mob, and also one where it's actually extinct and you have to bring it back to life. The Tuff Golems also seem to have two different positions that they take with their arms, one with the arms next to their sides, like you can see normally, but also one where their arms sort of extend outwards, holding a sort of carpet or platter that it's having the items on, so really it's not a robe, but it's something that's sort of attached to their two arms. So will the Tuff Golem be added into Minecraft, or will it be the Sniffer, or will it be the Rascal? That's up for you to decide, and if you want to decide on this, all you have to do is vote in Minecraft Live, and basically starting on October 14th inside of the launcher, there'll be an option for you to do that, or also inside of Bedrock Edition if you're, let's say, on maybe the Xbox version of the game. I'll continue to cover everything about the mob vote as well as Minecraft Live, so feel free to subscribe for that, as you'll see lots more content about this in the future. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video, and have a great day. Goodbye, and don't forget to make up your mind for this tough mob vote choice.